Hey there, in this video I'm going to explain how to install Windows 7 in vmware workstation. Just a brief introduction that what is vmware. VMware is basically a software that allows you to virtualize any other operating system without changing your actual operating system. For example, right now I'm using VMware. I have installed Linux, Windows 10 and Windows 7. As you can see, Windows 7 is here on my computer, but my actual operating system is Windows 8. That's my actual operating system. Just because on the temporary basis I need to work with different operating systems, so rather than changing the physical operating system, I chose to install other operating systems in VMware, and I can take the full advantage of Windows that is installed in VMware as it is actual operating system. So without a further ado, let's start the installation steps. Okay, so I'm just going to close it for now, and we'll install Windows 7, a fresh Windows 7 on in VMware workstation. Okay, so first of all, go to File. Here you get this option of New, and then you get this option of Virtual Machine. Once you are done with that, you get two options. One is typical and custom. Basically, typical is all the recommended settings will be done for you. You don't have to do anything on your own. Custom is basically it allows you to customize your setting. You can choose, you can enable and disable certain components from while the installation. So let it make it basic and choose the typical one and press next. Okay, now it says that guest operating system installation. Now, when you are installing any operating system, you need for example, if we're talking about Windows 7 or Windows 8 or any other Windows operating system, you need an image of that operating system. Fine. Normally, you get that in a disk. If you have a disk, you can choose this option, installer disk. Right now, I don't have any disk, so I have a ISO image file. ISO image basically it's the exact imitation of your disk on your I mean in the digital form it is present on your computer. So the same exact the entire definition that is present on the disk is exactly imitated on your hard disk, and that is called the ISO file. Okay, so I have the disk, so I can choose now. Look at the third option. It says that I will install the operating system later. Now, what's the difference between these two options? They both allow you to use the ISO image file or a disk image file. I'll go for the third one, and the reason is if I choose the second one, while the installation, I won't be able to perform any sort of partitioning. Fine. Because when I want to install operating system, I want to create two drives. One is C drive and one there might be another drives. Just for that sake, I'm going to choose this option. I will install the operating system later so that I can perform the partitioning and press next. Next it says that what will be your guest operating system? That is of course Microsoft Windows. And what is the version? Version is Windows 7 for now, and press next. After that it asks you to give the name for your Windows, so I'm going to call it Windows 7 new. Just give any name. After that the next thing is location. Where do you want to save this file, this virtual machine? Because you're creating a virtual machine that will be saved on your computer. You can choose where it will be saved. I'm going to keep it the same location and press next. Now this is important part. Since you are going to create a virtual machine, you have to configure certain settings. It says that how much hard disk capacity you want to give to this machine. The recommended size for Windows 7 is 40 GB. That's the recommended size. You can go up to depending upon your wish. I'm going to make it 60 because I'm not going to store much data into my virtual machine, and I don't need much hard disk capacity for this virtual machine. Okay, second thing is now it says that store the virtual machine as a single file or split the virtual machine into 2 GB files. Now what's the functionality of these two options? Basically, you can take your virtual machine. In the previous step you save the location of your virtual machine. Now in this step you can take your virtual machine from one location, from one computer to another computer, and while the moving it's very easy. Whatever you have performed on one machine, you can clone that on another computer. So that is the exact image of your previous task. So basically these two steps are whether you want to keep that as a single file or you want to separate it into 2 GB files. If you're choosing the second one, moving will be quite easier to another computer. I don't need it, so I'm going to use single machine or single file and press next. Now this is crucial step. See, we haven't chosen the ISO file yet. We haven't told that where is our ISO file is present. And unless and until you don't provide the ISO file, you won't be able to install operating system. So click on the customize hardware. Once I click on this, the first option is memory. You can choose how much memory you want to give to this machine. By default, it is around 1 GB. You can increase it or decrease it, but how much RAM you want to give to your computer. So just whatever your wish is. I'm going to make it 2 GB, so 2048 MB. Okay. Next is how many processors, and of course you can choose the cores that you want to allow to this processor. I'm going to give it 2 cores, and the next one is new CD and DVD. Now this is the step where you choose your ISO file. Here you get this option here, use ISO image file. Click here, then this browse option will be enabled. Click on this option, and wherever you have your ISO file, choose that. I have here, and as you can see the extension is cd-rom images.iso. Just choose your file and press open, and now you can also configure other settings like net is basically you connected with internet, USB controller, sound card. You can configure other settings, that's your wish. So I'm going to, okay, we have chosen the ISO file, and I'm moving to the next step, that is press OK, and we are done with everything. We have the, let me check the settings. We have Windows 7 new, that's the name, version is fine. Windows 7, that's our operating system, hard disk is 60, memory is 20, 48, and okay, and press finish. Okay, once you are done with that, you will see, you can see Windows 7 new is created here. All you have to do is click power on this virtual machine. If that option is not available, you can also right click and you will get this option of power on there. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to close it. Okay, so next is your installation will begin. Windows is loading file, and while the installation, it will take time, at least half an hour for the installation, so just be patient. Okay. um, and before I will also explain in this video that how to partition your drives while installation, how you can create drives. I mean, when you click on how you can create partitions when you install your operating system. So just stick to the video, and now you get this option of install the language, time and currency, and keyboard. Language, I'm going to keep it English, and time and currency, let's say English India. Where is India? Here it is. And keyboard and input method, you have different options here. You can choose any of the keyboard type. Okay, press next. Next is you get this option of install now. Now click on this. You have got this license terms, you have to accept this. So click on I accept this license term and press next. Okay, now you got two options. What is the type of installation do you want? One is upgrade and other is custom. Upgrade is basically you have already have one previous version and you want to upgrade to the next version or to the new version, and it will keep your files and settings and program everything safe. You don't have to worry about this. And second is custom. Custom is basically you are going to create a new copy of Windows. Fine. And all your previous data will be lost. You are going to make the partition. You are going to do everything from the beginning. Right now I don't have any previous version. I'm going to start make a fresh copy of Windows, so I'll go for custom. Okay, now next is, this is the step that I was talking about, where where you create the partition, where you create your drives in your computer. Fine. Right now it says what do you want, where do you want to install your Windows. Right now we have just one partition, that is of 60 GB, that we reserved while creating the partition, while creating the virtual machine. Fine. It is same as the size we mentioned. So I want to create two drives. So click on the drive options advanced here, and then you get this option of new. Click on new and mention the size in MB, that how much size you want to give to the drive. I want to create two drives of size, let's say 40 and 20. So 40 GB will be equivalent to 1 GB is equals to 1024 MB, and 40 GB will be equivalent to how much MB? That will be roughly, that is, the rough figure is, okay, let me check. Okay, so I want to create two partitions. One is 40 GB and another is 20 GB. So 41 GB equals to 1024 MB and 40 GB will equal to 40960 MB. So I'll click on apply. And it says, do you ensure that to ensure that all Windows features work correctly, Windows might create additional partitions for your system files. Okay, I'm fine with that. Just go on and create another system files. Okay, as you can see, it has created one more file on its own, that is systems reserve 100 MB, and 39.9, that is equal to almost 40 GB has been created here. Now we are left with another 20 GB, and I want to, it is still unallocated. It's not, you haven't created any drive. If you will move to the next step, you will see only there will be only one drive listed there, that will be your 40 GB. You won't get your second drive there because it is still unallocated, and you have to do that in computer management window, disk management. You can do it later. Okay, so I want to utilize this space as well. So click on new option, use the entire space and press on apply. And okay, we got two drives. One is of almost 40 GB and second is 20 GB. And choose the drive where you want to install your operating system. I want to install it here. So press next. Okay, now your installation has begun. It will take some time, and during the installation your system will reboot. It will start and restart sometimes. You don't have to worry about that. Just wait for some time and it will be ready for you. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward this video because there's nothing much that you can do here. Everything will be done on its own. All you have to do is just wait. So I'm going to just fast forward it. Finishing all those steps, it will ask you to enter the username. Just enter the username here. Just give any name to your operating system. I'm going to call it Rachel and press next. Now it's asking you to enter the password. It is recommended that you have the password for your account, and you can also skip it. See, next button is enabled. If you want to give the password, just type the password here. Okay, I'm going to type the password here, and just retype the same password that you typed earlier. And after that it's asking you to type the hint, just for the sake that if you will forget your password, you can remember it from the hint provided. I'm going to type the hint, so that is the hint, and after that press next. Now it's asking you to type the Windows product key. If you have the Windows product key with your ISO file, you can type here, and I'm going to skip this for now. And now it's asked you to help protect your computer and improve the Windows automatically. It's regarding the updates. How you want to manage your update? Do you want to I mean make all the updations in on their own, or do you want the computer to install the important updates only, or do you want to do this later? You can choose depending on your requirement. You can choose the options. I'm going to call it ask me later because I don't want to uh, set all these updation settings right now. Next, it's asking you to just set the date, time, and the time zone for your location. And for me, everything is fine. Time zone is correct, time is correct, date is correct. I'm going to press next. Okay, next is select your computer's location. This computer is connected to the network, and which type of network you want to connect with: home network, work network, or public network. Mine is home network, so I'm going to click on home network. Alright, so your window is ready. As you can see, Windows 7 is ready to use. Okay, let's just check. Last thing that I want to check is I created. Okay, as you can see, there are two drives. One is C drive that is of around 40 GB, and another is D drive. And right now you can't see the size here. All you have to do is just double click, and you will see this format disk. Click on this option, and your drive. After the formatting, your drive will be ready to use. Format complete, and close, and you can see there are two drives that we created during the partitioning. Okay, so that's it. This is how you install Windows 7 in VMware, and thanks for watching, and bye. Take care. Bye.